How to Draw Olaf. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start with the foot of Olaf because I find it to be the easiest part to finally start on. You may see the outline underneath of the paper because I found it a lot faster to go ahead and already draw it and then get a blank piece of paper and put it over top of it to go ahead and show you exactly where we're going to be putting our pencil. Well, right now we are working on the bottom part of Olaf. Always try to keep a light touch on the pencil, or else otherwise if you make a mistake it will be very hard to erase it and your drawing will not look as well as you would hope. Now the buttons, they can be any shape you want. The buttons don't have to be perfectly round, they look more like a coal. So don't worry about coloring them in right now. Go ahead and start on the midsection. So now in the midsection, he's leaning over, he's standing on one foot and leaning up straight, so he's going to be a little bit crooked. So as we add in the other button, you'll see that he is leaning, his whole body is actually leaning over to the right. Now that we go on to the arm, the arm does not have to be perfect. His arm is a stick, so go ahead and make it as rickety as you want. There is no limit whatsoever. Try to give him a little bit of an elbow towards the middle. And go ahead and start with the other arm. Try not to make it longer than the other, longer or shorter, or else otherwise it's not going to look as well. And the fingers, they still don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be perfectly matching or anything. So now we're going to go ahead and start on the head. Go ahead and try to follow the little indentation where we left off. And you're going to be making his cheekbone right here. Try to give it a little bit of a curve, that way to show his cheekbones. Even though he's made of snow, he has cheekbones. Now, try to keep them a little bit even, but remember he's leaning over to the right, so they're not going to be directly proportional. And whenever you're doing the top of his head, make sure you give a little bit of a knob up at the top of his head so he can have some hair, which are made out of twigs. Now, the nose and the mouth, he has a really large upper lip, so try to give him a little bit of a lip. And he has a very big gaping mouth, so go ahead and try to keep that open. And he has one large tooth. And he also has a little bit of a double chin, which I found that quite interesting. Now the nose is quite difficult, although it looks quite easy. You have to try to make it look a little bit really realistic, but at the same time not make it look overbearingly hard. Now the eyes are probably the hardest part because that is where the character of the snowman comes from, because his eyes are the main focus of what we look at whenever we are looking at a character, because they look exactly like the character. That's what makes the character. So try to have his nose overlapping the right eye and his pupil somewhat touching the nose on the right eye, but on the left eye it's not. And the eyebrows, try to make them a little bit thick, or else other eyes are not going to work as well. They're not going to look as featured as would if they were thin. Now the hair is just sticks, so it could just be straight lines, or you could make it as detailed as you want. There is no limit to your imagination. Towards the end here, we're going to color those in to make them actually look like twigs. So there is no limit whatsoever. Now go ahead and color in all of the pieces where his twigs would be. And in this demonstration, we're not going to do much coloring in. I'm just going to do a little bit basic so you get the basics of it. And don't forget about his little coal buttons. You never want to forget those. And don't forget about the arms or the inside of the mouth. The inside of the mouth is a little bit grayer than usual.